Welcome in, everybody, to episode 47 of Stick Kid Sports. We're live here on a nice Tuesday evening alongside a second-time guest, a Laker championship predictor, Showgo Yoshida, my roommate from college. How we doing so far today, Showgo?
It's a pleasure, man. Feels great to be back.
Let's go. He was on with his other good buddy of ours, Nick Severin, was on with him. So now he's by himself, gets more of the spotlight as a guest, which will be fun.
Is this only your second time?
Yeah, it's my second time, yeah.
Man, I thought that it was your third. Maybe Tom's done it 3 times.
I think Tom has.
Yeah, Tom's done it a lot. All right, bet. Let's get after it.
Let's get after it. We got a lot of stuff to go over. NBA playoffs is going crazy. Second round. We got some good series for the most part. We got some college hoops, high school hoop stuff we'll go over, and some games to top it off. But we'll get right into it. We want to get into some, I'd say, a high school / college topic, and that's the one going around all social media pages. And Bronny James, my guy. If you know me on the social media, I love Bronny James and the James family. But Bronny James commits to USC. Yeah. Big news. Showgo, I'll let you tap in first. What do you think about this move from Bronny James?
I think it's a smart move. Him staying local with the whole family, with Bron. He's got all the blueprints for the game. So I think sticking home is a smart choice. The backcourt's gonna be pretty dangerous there. So look forward to it.
Is the backcourt too dangerous, though? Do you think that he's going to get minutes? Because now with Rodman also committing, we don't know because he's a small forward. We got Boogie Ellis, who's like the shooting guard, point guard. Now you got Collier, a true point guard. Where does Bronny fit in?
I mean, I think the coach definitely talked to him. And I think there is a reason why he's going to USC. He might not start right away. If not, he will start right away. But he's going to get those minutes in no matter what. He's going to be a good ball player, no doubt. He's got high IQ, so he'll be perfectly fine there. He's got nothing to worry about there as within minutes, but he's got to shoot the ball well, right?
What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I think when I look at it, he was with me today when I was doing a little video on it. I just think Bronny James, the NIL decision is obviously USC. I think he's in LA. That's where he's already been. I think that's going to get him to all that and make sense. And then when you look at his fit with the team, I think he still gets a ton of minutes. He's going to, I would think, I guess I don't know where Wagner, he could maybe go to, or not Wagner, sorry. Rodman's son, he just transferred. He could maybe play like a 4 potentially. I think Bronny can start at the wing. But my thing is like in the NBA, like I guess you can change him, but he's got to be a 1. I mean, he's 6'3". I don't see him as like a wing in the NBA. And on this team, that's where he's gonna have to play if he wants to play the most minutes. He's gonna have to shoot the ball, he's gonna have to be a defender, and that's where he's gonna have to go. And I just think that's where it scares me to be like that lottery top, like big time pick. This might not be the best place, is what I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I think he could maybe like squeeze himself in to that starting spot, but I mean, there's just not a lot of shots to go around, especially with that's his main concern, I think, for the NBA is like scoring. They know he's a playmaker. They know he's a defender. But like Boogie Ellis is going to take, 50% of the shots. Then you have the highest recruit in Isaiah Collier. I mean, you'd think he's going to take, the most next. And then it's like, where does Bronny fit in? But I hope it works out for him. I'm definitely going to be purchasing USC jersey. There's no way I don't.
You rocking one of those?
Have to, bro.
You got to. That would be sick.
Is Bronny James going to be the most sold college jersey of all time?
Yes, I think so. Now in this age.
You think so? Higher than like Zion?
That's tough. I think he will.
So. Just, that last name.
Yeah, I saw an article that said Bronny James since LeBron has the most like hype coming into it at this level. I mean, LeBron went to obviously it was right to the league, but like that's a crazy statement. Like there's been so many big time players still that been after LeBron for the college level.
Yeah, the hype's definitely there. It could be the most sold jersey of all time in college. It could
make the take. I like it. I think when you bring up when I'm thinking on it a little bit on if the way he's going to fit into that role as a starter. You could also think like maybe, him not having that huge load, you could maybe say, wow, well, now maybe not as much pressure's on Bronny James to be like, go for 25 or 20 game or whatever it is. Like he shoots the ball well, like you said, he plays defense. An NBA scout will just be like, I see there's a lot of potential here instead of him having to be like, he has to have the ball in his hands all the time, and now the spotlight's always on him with the ball. That can maybe create a lot of pressure on a young guy that's 18 that already has so much pressure. So maybe it will work out because he's not the number one option.
Yeah, but then he's got to really shine in those minutes that he does get, though. So less time to make things happen.
Right. Just something to think about.
I mean, Bronny James is one of those players that you really want to have on your team. He can play different positions, and he's a very coachable guy, I think. By the way he plays very good defense. He can pass the ball. He can shoot the ball. So I think he's very flexible in a way, and I think USC, I mean, he'll be fine doing that.
Let's go. I hope so. I'm definitely going to try and get a game. Go to a USC game, maybe not at USC.
I love it.
I'm going. There's no way I don't go see him.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I'm going to be in California for 2 weeks when I start the job. That would be so cool if they were playing. I'd be like, Bronny, come on.
That would be sweet. They probably won't be yet, but maybe.
Yeah, not quite. But I'll make the trip out there again and just act like I need to do something. I'll go watch.
Right. Facts. I need it.
All right. Well, the big thing discussion before I let you take it away with these, but there's some big time recruits. We were talking about it the other day in the next class, senior class of 2024. Haven't really heard a ton of names that'll come up. I know there's some big time players, but 2025 headlining players are Cooper Flagg and Cameron Boozer. These two are the face of this class. Bryce James is in that class as well. Bronny's younger bro, but you're pretty high on them for going to one school and one school only, and that's the Duke Blue Devils. So what's going on there?
Cooper Flagg, Cameron Boozer are definitely ending up at Duke. Listen, Boozer, it's in the bloodline. It's just been bred into him. He's too good. He's going to get the offer if he doesn't already. Not 100% sure, but Shire's been all over him at the EYBL, the circuits. Dude, I mean, it's Duke blood. I mean, if your dad goes to Duke and you have the opportunity to go there, you're going to go there. So I feel like it's just set in stone. And then Cooper Flagg, the best player in the country, said that's his dream school. So how does he not commit with Boozer, the best duo in that class? I mean, come on. It's Duke Blue Devils.
I mean, that'd be sick. I mean, Duke is one of those places where that can happen probably the most. You know, the chances there.
Maybe some people thought it was going to slow down when Shire stepped in, but it's looking like it could keep rolling with the way. I think just the name of Duke, the brotherhood. It's still going to be there regardless of who's at the realm as the head coach. But they'll look at this season will be a big one. You know, they have to look at how this team does, right? With Shire having the same recruits Coach K brought in, it's still with Roach and whatnot. But I think we'll see what kind of comes into play, and you know they'll if they go there, that team in the next couple of years will be number one over in the country potentially if they get a transfer or two with them on board.
They definitely can. The transfer is always the questionable thing right now with Duke. They're not getting great ones so far, so we'll see.
Right, exactly. And then one side note again for college hoops, we're watching the Bob Huggins situation. Bob Huggins, he's in some little deep waters at West Virginia, saying some remarks on an interview, and it wasn't really looked at too great. Obviously, people are throwing up questions of should Huggins step down or should he be fired? Like Bob Huggins, is this something that, obviously he was in the wrong, he apologized, but should Bob Huggins just leave because of this or what's going on here? Showgo, what do you think? You got to say anything?
I mean, especially with our generation, I mean, this is pretty big, honestly, just because with everything with our generation. I mean, what would you want to do? I mean, can you even come back? And obviously you're going to get a lot of hate.
All right.
Right. So, I mean, it really depends on a guy he is. But
yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know what they'll do. I don't know if the university will step in or anything. I know that it was regarding the Xavier fans, which is their rival. So I don't know. It's tough. I mean,
yeah, it's a tough situation.
I don't know.
Sticky. So sticky. Very sticky.
Because like you mentioned, he stays. He's going to get a ton, hate and bash from probably not just West Virginia, but all across from college hoops fans. And then, if he decides if he gets fired, now it's like you just fired a Hall of Fame coach. And then if he steps down, that's honestly probably if he does that, it's like, okay, that's probably the smart in the eyes of the public smart, because now you're not getting bashed anymore. You did what probably people want you to do in some degree. So I'd
say there's a huge concern because they're known for right now having either the best or the second best transfers so far. So all these guys, big names, have just transferred there, and now this happens, and they're there for Huggins. that they're there for the Hall of Fame coaching. They're not there for West Virginia. No one wants to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. So we'll see. I mean, Kirk Reese is one of those big transfers. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one to throw out there. We'll see what unfolds with Huggins, and watch that as well. But let's transition to NBA playoffs. We got to. That's what's going on. That's the hot topics of discussion.
Yeah, of course.
And let's look at. We'll look at the first two series that are the biggest so far in the deficits, right? So 3-1. There's two. We got the Knicks and the Warriors. Showgo, maybe we'll start here with you. And are you giving up on either of these teams? Like on the Knicks or Warriors so far, already being down 3-1?
I think they're too deep in the waters to come back. I mean, Warriors, obviously, one of the greatest shooters of all time. I mean, there is a small chance they could do it. Is there enough firepower behind them? Obviously, with the bench, Jordan Poole not really playing well. But Knicks, I think they're done. I mean, Hemi Butler's just him.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. I agree with you. I think Miami might even close it out in New York in a 5-game series. I feel like the Knicks kind of even seemed like they might have given up a little bit in that fourth quarter in the last game. It's like they don't feel it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Randall, but Brunson, I mean, he's a great player. He's played better than people expected with this huge contract. But I mean, is he really a number one option on a team to go far in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't think so. But as for the Warriors, I mean, I'm going to predict it. I think that they, come back, win 3 in a row in Golden State, give LeBron his own medicine. Curry gets it done and goes all the way probably to win the championship. So Steph Curry, he's the best player on the floor night after night, and his team's not stepping up, which could definitely happen again in the next game, and then it's over in Golden State. But how bad can Clay keep shooting? How bad can Poole keep shooting? Wiggins has been the second best player all playoffs. I don't know. I feel like Kevon Looney being out, barely playing. He's playing 10 minutes. He's got to play. Why is he not playing? I don't know. But I think the Warriors.
It's a different kind of. It's a situation with Warriors. Because the Lakers, Draymond's coming out saying Lakers, they're not going to do it again because, a guy stepping up as he did. I'm drawing a blank right now. But
Lonnie Walker?
Yeah. Lonnie Walker steps in big, does his thing, and that doesn't happen, right? And then the same thing happens in the game before, right? The Lakers and Reeves and D'Lo, and it's their guys are stepping up. And that's truly showing that the Lakers are complete in that regard, that they're not afraid of the moment. And these guys are big time. Jordan Poole is the opposite end of the spectrum. And that's why I don't think the Warriors can come all the way back unless they change that way. I just don't see it. And Jordan Poole, that's embarrassing. I mean, we're going to talk about it right after this, what his next steps could be. But I don't know. It's just tough to see that happen to the Warriors, and especially Jordan Poole being credited as he is.
Yeah,
it's just the Lakers. I mean, you look at their bench. I mean, you have guys coming off. I mean, not just Lonnie Walker. I mean, you have even the series before. You had Hachimura come off. I mean, he went crazy. I mean, you have Austin Reeves. He can quietly get you 25. You have so many other guys that can go get you buckets, and LeBron and AD, they really haven't had to really take over that much. I mean, LeBron knows. I mean, he shot a few times all the time. I mean, he doesn't even need to shoot the ball right now. I mean, once he starts actually, him taking over, it's gonna be so scary. It's actually kind of.
Do you think he can take over? Is that a thing? Can LeBron take over?
I think.
Let's keep
first
it real.
half, I think I see him kind of. You heard Steph in Draymond's podcast. You kind of hear Steph that was I'm trying to figure LeBron out right now. And I think LeBron mentally to them is kind of messing with their head a little bit. He's not really shooting the ball, kind of just staying in the corner. But maybe this is a game plan that LeBron wants. So I feel like as obviously LeBron might go down as the greatest player, I think he knows what he's doing. I think this is all part of the plan, and obviously it's working out.
It's definitely working out right now, but it's I don't know. It's how many times is Lonnie Walker going to save him? How many times is Hachimura going to save him? How many times is Reeves going to save these players? AD's getting 4 points in the second half, and LeBron's getting 10, and they're winning. winning games.
I think LeBron just realizes, like, because I mean, I heard that post-game interview. He said, I told these guys, I told Lonnie, like, your number's gonna be called.
Okay, sure he did.
I love that.
Did. Sure.
I love that.
He also predicted the national champion. He also dreamt about him dropping 50, and then he did. Like, no, he didn't. He didn't tell Lonnie that. He probably told Lonnie you're not playing.
I'm gonna believe him, but I know people can have that.
We know it's LeCap. It's LeCap. It's known.
I mean, hey, it's what GM, what coach, man. I mean, he knows we're not there for the practices, the 7 a.m.s. Who knows? I mean, Lonnie might be getting buckets during practice, and LeBron saw something in him. And hey, I mean, obviously he's not putting up 15 points in the fourth quarter. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, he definitely sees talent in these guys, and he knows what they're capable of. And he puts them in the right shoes, right? I mean, you got a lot of attention on LeBron. Maybe you release that pressure, and it's kind of a mismatch somewhere else. I mean,
yeah. My question is with the Warriors is, I mean, at this point, why are you putting so much, I guess, pressure / attention on LeBron? I mean, most of the plays, he's not even involved. He's standing in the corner, and he's not even touching it. And LeBron's not a shooter. I mean, are you going to live with a LeBron 3 most of the time? Yeah. You're going to make him beat you that way. Why are we kind of like working our defense around him? Maybe we're working it more around AD as the Warriors, but to me, it's like, maybe make LeBron beat you. Make him beat you this last game. Make LeBron drop 40. That's what I would say. Like, why are you letting Reeves beat you? Why are you letting Lonnie Walker beat you? Make it be the best player of all time, apparently.
Why do you think the Warriors, besides Steph, why do you think they're struggling? I mean, this isn't like them at all. So
it's not. And I mean, Jordan Poole's very young. I think he's just can't find his shot right now. Clay, on the other hand, I've been disappointed in him for the past 2 years. I think he's one of the most inconsistent shooters in the NBA these past 2 years. He can't do much. He can't drive the ball. He's not that same defender since the injury as well. So it's almost like, if he's not hitting shots, he's kind of like a liability out there, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Jordan Poole, he's been a liability the whole playoffs. Right. I mean, he's had one good game.
Do you go back to Poole next game and kind of give him more minutes? I mean, he only played 10 minutes last game. I mean,
right.
You just back off him, maybe go for someone else that can find a rhythm, or
I felt like that's maybe what they tried to do last game with him only playing 10 minutes. They were like, here's your stretch. If you can't hit a shot, you're out the rest of the game. And they played Peyton. They started Peyton. I mean, they're starting Anthony Davis Draymond guarding Anthony Davis. I mean, he's 7'2" and Draymond's 6'9".
That's what I was going to bring up. I think Draymond, because when I'm watching the Warriors match up, like Draymond Green is defensive specialist. He's passer. He does those things you want on a playoff championship team. I understand, but hey, he's going against Anthony. He's matching with Anthony Davis, and he's a guy that's going to get the ball, and he's never going to look to like. There's a couple instances, right? Like end of the game, he's dribbling. No, he's not looking at the rim. He's never going to look at the rim in a big time moment. He will not do it. He'll get the ball and pass it to whoever, which a lot of times can be beneficial when you have Steph Curry hitting lights out threes. But then the end of the game, Curry's 3-pointer wasn't really at its level it always is, and Draymond Green all over in key moments. Like that's something to look at. Is Golden State? Yes, they always have him on the floor. Yes, he's the big time leader in the locker room. I get all of it, but like at this stage in the NBA in the playoffs, like you match up against AD and you're just not matching up well, and you can't go get a bucket. Like that's a big hole that is not being found. I feel like for them. So
yeah, I don't know. I think you start Poole. If I'm being honest, I think you start Poole, give him minutes to try and get decently hot. But Poole's also a liability on the defensive end as well. And like you're playing a Lakers team who can all defend. The problem with the Warriors, I mean, is AD. They have no one to guard him. Kevon Looney does his best, but you can't really stop AD most of the time. It's a complete mismatch there. And if you're not hitting threes, which the Warriors have to hit threes because they're not going to score as many twos as the Lakers. So if you're not hitting threes, it's a wrap.
Right. Yeah, there is a lot of defensive liabilities on that Warriors end for sure. I mean, you can tell in the late stretch in the fourth. I mean, LeBron, you get that mismatch on Curry. I mean, you're going to have to send the double all the time, and that just causes chaos on that end. So, I mean, yes, I guess defense is playing a big factor. I mean, Vanderbilt's playing well. So, I mean, that's another player that's playing well.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean, all the Lakers. That's what I'm saying. All the Lakers are playing well. It's like, when is it going to be all the Warriors are going to play well, and some of the bench players don't play good for the Lakers because they're not
Right.
stars. They have to have an off night at some point, and they haven't yet.
right. And that brings us up, I think, to the next kind of question is, as we mentioned, like bench players, right? Like, so out of these NBA playoff teams left, like, you know, who's got like who's the worst bench out there? Is it the Warriors? Like, Ford, what do you think about that? I mean, who's the worst
I
bench?
think, because I made a video kind of about this,
Uh-huh.
I think the worst bench in the NBA playoffs is the New York Knicks. I think when they come out there, they have zero options at all.
Yeah, they have what's his name?
They keep
Grimes.
Grimes. I was thinking of Grimes, man.
Right. They have Barrett, Grimes, Obi Toppin, Hartenstein, and normally Quickly. But Quickly's hurt now.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Obi Toppin can't even see the rim. I don't know
Obi
what's going
Toppin's-
on.
I don't know why he plays so much.
Either.
I think he's so overhyped. I mean, he came and I saw him shoot, and I saw him airball a 3, and I turned it off. I was like, I can't even watch him.
No, he's unwatchable. Quentin Grimes is like, I think he's an okay bench player, but with that bench squad, it's like no one can get him open because he's a catch and shoot player. That's what he is.
Right.
Quickly, people were saying, I didn't pay as much attention probably as I should have to the regular season, but people were saying like Quickly is going to be like possible 6th man of the year. He's been awful.
I know he was playing I know that he was playing a lot more than he has in the playoffs, like in the regular season.
Yeah, they were saying like
Sure.
he was top 3 finalist for 6th
That is
man of the year. He's
crazy.
awful.
Yeah. Who would he be at the 1 or 2
Yeah,
for them?
he's
He's
the
at the
1.
1. That's a good take. I'm definitely not saying Nuggets. There's just no shot. I'm not saying Lakers, obviously. I'm probably not saying Philly either. I mean, yeah.
What about the Suns?
The Suns?
That's true. But I want to say, you said so quick Nuggets. Nuggets had the worst bench in the whole regular season.
That's
The
interesting.
whole regular season. But then in the playoffs, they're playing so well. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I guess Nuggets aren't that deep either. I mean, you got Bruce Brown coming out. I mean, he's like a defensive player, but I'm not scared of him.
I'm not scared of him, but I think he can give you like I'm not like if you throw out, if you throw out their whole bench, that's one thing. But if you throw in Bruce Brown, he's going to be at a level that is, I think, is fine.
I think he's a great role player. Christian Braun, I think he can come in.
He's good.
I think he's a great overall player.
Yeah,
they're just not deep. You know?
Yeah, they're not deep.
I mean, you can say the same thing about the Suns. I mean, let Landry Shamet beat you. I mean, if he's money, I mean, with that, I mean,
yeah. I'm gonna go New York Knicks as well with this one for the worst bench, but Nuggets is interesting that you say that because I went right a quick away because I'm like the Nuggets have a good bench, or for the most part, but like that's interesting. But I think Knicks overall, that's bad. But Obi Toppin is a terrible bench player. It's funny I say that when I was thinking he was that guy a little bit in college, but no, it's rough. Maybe he'll find a spot somewhere eventually. I don't know.
Showgo, are you going with Suns?
I might have to go with the Suns. I think bottom 2. I mean, I think Knicks and Suns, debatably. I mean, TJ Warren doesn't scare me at all. I mean, big bubble guy. I mean, that was crazy that you even did that. But, like, again, I mean, Shaman's coming off the bench playing really well, but, I mean, let him beat you.
Right. And it's like, if you're the Nuggets, are you really that worried? I mean, Shamet dropped 6 threes in a fourth quarter to beat you, and you barely lost. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, how many times can this happen in some of these series? But maybe they just keep.
Yeah, is it that they're clicking as a team to that high of a level that the Nuggets are done, or is it like just a fluke moment? And the Lakers have been proving that the past games, like it might not be a fluke. They're just all ready to step up. But then again, there's going to be people like you think Warriors can come back because it is a fluke. So
we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I didn't even know Terrence Ross was still in the league, and he's on the Suns coming off the bench. I mean, I'm like, who is that?
Yeah,
I will say I love that Jock Landale guy on the Suns, the white center that comes in, dude. He's such a sweat.
He is. They're interesting, the Suns. I like it.
It's so interesting. It's 2 guys. Jokic was so mad in the fourth quarter, yelling at his team. I'm not sure if you saw. He's like, "We're losing to 2 guys. You guys can't guard 2 people."
Right.
Well, I think I want to see what people quick kind of opinion on it because we have it is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, as you mentioned, 10 minutes, 0 points, 3 rebounds, Guy was completely – they put him on the bench and they said, as we mentioned, Gary Payton's going to start. You're not going to play as much today. They're trying something else. They need to do something against this Laker team. For defensive purposes is why I would expect it. And just overall, someone on the floor that won't do maybe what Curry's doing. I don't know, in a sense. But Jordan Poole plays terrible, and he's a guy that is looked at as a top option. So what do you think about this? Jordan Poole's career just straight up over. Is he done? Should he be not paid anymore and be sent home, or what's the deal?
I mean, he's in a tough shoes. I mean, you're playing underneath Klay Thompson and Curry. I mean, it's hard for you to kind of go get yours, right? Especially in the playoffs when every shot matters. Regular season, I get it. Everyone's relaxed a little bit. But in these kind of moments, I think Jordan Poole is kind of obviously he's not feeling himself right now. But I think at another team right now, I think he will succeed. But there's too many options, and I think he knows that. It's kind of hard for him to go out and do that, but I don't know. We might have to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried for his job because I actually kind of like Poole. I think he brings a fun energy to the team. I think he's really enjoyable to watch. His shot selection, though, is awful. One of the worst in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so questionable, like every single shot almost. And it's like, oh, thank God it went in.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like a miracle.
Yeah, he needs to be smarter, right? The IQ of Jordan Poole is where if he can get that level-headed, and I think he's really fun to watch. He's gone off. I mean, remember, was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago? Or
Last year?
Last year, Jordan Poole in the playoffs. We were all like, wow, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Is Poole okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's so much potential in that kid. And, I mean, the Warriors love him, I think, in the sense where he has that bust or that boom potential of like a guard that can change a game with the way he plays. But there's this. I think that's gone for him.
I mean, he's either hot or cold, right? I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
there's no in between with this guy. So
stop saying he's got to stop thinking he's Curry on the floor. Is what's
That's true. Like, I really think he might think he's Stephen Curry. Like, I think he gets confused.
Yes.
I mean, Curry. Yeah, you're seeing this guy pull up from 30 every time. I think Poole's like, oh, I could do that. I mean, you're not even close to, So that's just a bad influence, Steve Kerr's like, that's a good shot selection for Curry, but like Poole probably thinks he has the green light with him, but no, man.
I know, and it's just so tough. And Klay, I feel like Klay, at least, he shoots a ton, but he doesn't shoot like crazy shots. Like normally, it's like he's at the 3-point line when he's shooting. Poole's 3 feet back. Poole, buddy, let's
shoot the 3 here.
Steph Curry,
yeah.
There's no 4-pointers. Poole,
No.
There's not. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're not playing. What is it? The animal or the Ivers? What's the league that does the 4-pointer?
The big three.
Big three. That's it.
Big
It's not the
three.
big three.
Poole would be the best big 3 player of all time.
Yeah,
by the
you
way.
would.
Yeah, because they encourage that shot selection over there.
Mm-hmm.
Curry's changed the game for the better with the shooting, but
yes,
but there's
But
this side of
Poole.
it, like, Poole, come on,
and he has to play well. He has to, dude.
a must because Gary Payton out there starting and playing all those minutes. Yes, he's a good athlete. Yes, he can go get some buckets for you. He played not terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I saw a spark of Gary Payton.
One of his
Jr.
better games.
Yeah.
He had like 14 before he threw
So
up.
threw up. Yeah, and then Draymond, not there. That was hilarious.
Oh, we got to speak about that play. Listen, you're down. What were they down? 2 or 3?
I think it was a big possession.
Huge
It
possession.
was 2 or 3. Okay.
Yep.
And they go to Draymond Green to facilitate a play. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What
What are we doing?
What are we
That was insane,
doing?
though.
He's no threat at all. He's not going to shoot, even if it's a wide open layup. He's not shooting in that moment. No chance. And what do? They don't even guard him at all, and he throws it right to AD in 1 second.
And it's easy in that situation for the Lakers defense because they know that he's not looking at the rim. He's not. Like, you want someone that's going to make a basketball move to the hoop and make it interesting for you have to go up and defend him. You don't have to with him. It's where's Draymond going to pass the ball? That was a terrible look for Golden State Steve Kerr in that moment.
I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
You have to give the ball to Curry in his hands right away. And
Yep.
you have 11 seconds? Go 1v1. Go take him.
Yep. I agree. And it's like, most of the time Curry gets discredited because he doesn't have a lot of big shots, right? But he's always double teamed in that moment. But that leaves someone open. So, like, you can live with a Klay Thompson open 3. You can live with that. Even that Poole 3 was not that bad of a shot if it's just a step in. Like,
I
you're
agree,
fine
yeah.
with that. But for you to have it in Draymond's hand and not live or die by your best player, and most people would say a must-win game, right? I mean, it's an awful way to lose to me.
I agree.
Yeah. No, that's a good point to make. I mean, I guess Curry wasn't really. He had those 2 huge deep threes. I mentioned the show where I said, was that smart for the Warriors only up one?
No, it
Or
wasn't.
down
But
one?
you're
But it's
living
Curry.
with him. You're living with what he's going to decide to do.
Yes.
Just like LeBron when he shoots threes when you could drive to the hoop every time and probably score. Like,
Right.
why are
Yeah,
you doing that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
he's
you
a
live
star.
with it.
You're gonna live with that and be like, well, we lost off a Curry 3 that easily could have gone in because it's Steph Curry, right?
Right.
So, well, I think where we did mention about Chase and I had our predictions. Celtics Nuggets is what we predicted from the series for the second round to go on to the next round. They're the ones that are in the 2-2 series, though, as you look at both, with the Sixers having huge performances from James Harden, along with the Nuggets, who have been getting just overpowered away on the road against a Booker KD duo that seems to be unstoppable in Phoenix. Ford, are you staying with these 2 teams, locking them in?
I'm going to stay with the Nuggets, and I'm also probably going to stay with the Celtics, although I don't like what I'm seeing from the Celtics. I do like what I'm seeing from the Nuggets. I'm pretty confident that they win that series still. I think that they're overall just a better team. Jokic is playing unbelievable, and Murray is being the sidekick that, Jokic needs to succeed. But Tatum, there's got to be questions. There's got to be questions asked. I mean, is Jaylen Brown better than Jason Tatum? He's surely more efficient. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And Tatum doesn't give the ball to Brown and gives the ball to Marcus Smart on 2 game-winning threes in the last game.
What's up with all these guys giving it to the players that actually don't look to score?
Right. Why is that? And why aren't you shooting it?
Yeah, that too. I mean, yeah, I'm sticking with both as well. I mean, the Celtics James Harden is like it's the same thing like as the Suns in my opinion. Like the Harden goes crazy. I mean, he's shown he can do that, but that's when they have a chance to win. If you're ever going to be able to do that for another 3 straight games to go win it all, I mean, yeah, he could, but it's like I don't know if I see that happening, and that's why I'll stay with the Celtics, who have shown that they're an NBA Finals, championship contending team from last year, and then the Nuggets too, the same thing. Like, can Devin Booker? I don't know. I just think that they are putting up this great of numbers at home, but when they go to Denver, who are going to have 2 home court games, not just 1, 2, I don't think they can surpass that. But anything can happen, and it's interesting. I don't know. What are you thinking on those 2 series, Showgo?
As a Tatum perspective, I mean, this kid, I get it, he's young. But last year, I kind of saw it in that Warriors series when the moment really matters, he wasn't really showing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, you see Jaylen Brown kind of in those big moments, he's kind of going after that. And I mean, you kind of seen in the 76ers series. I mean, do you really give the ball to when it really matters? Do you give it to Jaylen Brown? I mean, I don't think you really can. I think you have to keep going with Tatum, but it's really hard for me to kind of keep rooting for Tatum because I do want to see him succeed. I do want to see him get a ring, but when the moment matters, man, you have to really shine and you have to go get that bucket. So, I still think Celtics will get a edge on this. I don't see them losing. I think they're way too deep, but I still think Jokic and Nuggets get it done against KD and the Suns as well.
Yeah. I like it, man. Tatum, he's a likable player, but it's getting to the point where it's like, I feel like he's competitive with Brown. I'm not sure if you guys see that on the court, but I think that's why when he drives and he decides to kick, he's not kicking to Brown. He doesn't want Brown to make the shot. He wants to be the guy.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some locker room talking there. I mean, shoot. I mean,
with 2 big stars like that, it's actually shown to happen.
There
Same
was
position.
Exactly. I mean, there was talks. One of them has to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
either work together, or split off like the OKC Thunder did with Harden, Durant, and Westbrook, right?
Right. I could see it crumble. I'm going to be honest. I really could. We'll see
it as well.
Don't tell Jack Cody that one, Chase.
Jack Cody, just so you know, is in full shambles right now with Celtics and Warriors right now. Full
Last
shambles.
year he was on top of the world, so we'll see how it unfolds, right?
Shout out Cody, though, for driving through the middle of the night to Philly, and now he's driving all the way from there to Boston to see the next game as well.
Wow.
That's crazy.
This guy doesn't stop.
He's so committed.
Yeah, he's at every game, basically. I don't know how he does it.
Love the grind. All right, we're sticking with some games now. We're transitioning. We're going to do a fun one, and we did it for after the first round of playoffs, Jason and I did, and now we're going to do it for towards the end of the second round of the playoffs.
Yep.
And we're going to be ranking our top 5 NBA players in the 2023 playoffs. This is going to be fun. It's going to be different for everyone, I think. A lot of guys have just been showing out. And there's a tough, I think, top 5 list you can make, and you can make arguments for who's going to be 3 or 1 or even 5 to 1. It's all over the place. So with that being said, Showgo, would you like to start us off in your top 5, and we can go from there?
All right.
Let's hear what's going to happen, because this is going to be interesting.
It's going to be the most interesting list you've seen. I think,
Oh, no.
I could get some hate. I think these are good takes, though.
Your opinion. Let's hear what you got.
So we're going to start at 5 here. We're going to go with the GOAT himself, LeBron James. Some of you guys may think he hasn't been doing that much, but I think on the back end, I think this is, like I said, I think this is all part of the plan. When he wants to take over, he will take over.
Mm-hmm.
He's feeding the ball to everyone, getting everyone involved. And I think he's been doing a good job of just keeping the team composed, right? You have a 3-1 lead. Hopefully he can close it out in 5 here. So it kind of, I don't want that pressure going into 6. So I think LeBron knows that. He knows the situation. He's been here before, so he's got it. At number 4, we have Kevin Durant. I think he's been hooping. I think he's putting up around 30. I think he's been doing it. On the glass as well. I think he's leading the Suns in a good way. I think he's bringing that energy a little bit. I think he kind of also with Devin Booker, obviously a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and I think he's doing a good job of just kind of maintaining that, staying composed. And obviously he's gotten those rings, so he should be able to stay himself composed. So at 3, we got the Joker. I think everyone's kind of seen that throughout the playoffs. Triple-double machine. You can't really stop the kid. It's kind of crazy the way he does it, pushing Ishbia and stuff, but it's all good.
Yep.
But another player on the Suns at the 2 spot is D-Book. He has been hooping. I think John Calipari really showed him the ropes here. Hopefully he gets it down in the clutch when it really matters, these 5, 6, 7 games, But throughout the series, first against Clippers, hooped. These 4 games right now, he's flat out been the best player on the Suns. So got to tip my hat to him. But at number 1, it's Jimmy Butler. That dude is really him. Doing it on both ends, bro. It is remarkable to see what he's doing. It's not like he has the craziest team, right? He knocked off the Bucks, Giannis, and now he's about to knock off. The Knicks aren't anything crazy, but still, it's impressive. You're up 3-1.
Yeah.
Coming in from a playing game to now, it's pretty sweet.
It is sweet. It's sweet. Do you think that Jimmy Butler could have done this if he won the first playoff game and had to play the Celtics? Or do you think it would have been a different story?
That's tough. I guess we might see it, right? We might see it. And I think this really shows that, the bubble, you call it the bubble, right? It doesn't really mean much. It's a Mickey Mouse ring, but I think it really shows that Jimmy Butler is like a playoff guy. He really is him.
Yeah.
So
he saves the energy for this time of year.
He does. And I completely disagree when people say the bubble didn't mean anything. I think that's the hardest, probably basketball they've ever played. But
no
it's
fans.
Just me.
Right.
Different times. Yeah. I like it. Do you want to run it then, or do you want me to run it?
Sure, I can run it.
Bet.
My top 5 players in the playoffs so far. At 5, I have AD. It's just the defensive anchor that he's been, even though he goes absent in some games. Offensively, I think just the defense that he brings, the rebounding. He's gotten close to 20 rebounds in multiple games. He's getting 5, 6 blocks a game, not to mention his steals as well. It's pretty crazy what he's done. At 4, I have Jimmy Butler. I would have him higher from the Bucks series, but in this series, I feel like he hasn't had to do as much. I feel like his team has really stepped up against the Knicks and helped him carry the load. Maybe it's just because the Knicks aren't as good. They're not as great defensively as the Bucks are. But Jimmy Butler hasn't had to get a 50-point game. He hasn't had to get multiple, big 30-point performances. He's gotten a lot of 28s, 26s, which is relatively low compared to his Bucks series. So I moved him down to 4 compared to my last list. At 3, I have Jokic. I mean, he has the highest plus minus throughout the entire NBA playoffs. He leads the Nuggets in every single stat. He's unbelievable offensively, but his defense, he doesn't have shot blocking. He doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with a lot of guards if he has to switch. So he's a little bit of a liability as a center defensively, but so good offensively that he has to be at the 3 for me. Then at 2, I've got D-Book. I mean, wow. I mean, I think it's time to seriously talk about if he's better than Jason Tatum, if he's the main guy on the Suns. I think he's really proved that. And I think he's always been a big playoff guy. Every time he's been in the playoffs, he's performed. And I put him at 2 because of that. I think he's consistently so great. And when you shoot 79% against the Nuggets in the past 2 games while dropping 40 points, that's unheard of, literally unheard of. And I think he's advanced his game so much from just a mid-range shooter to a 3-point shooter and, getting to the cup, drawing fouls. I think he's really improved. And then at 1, I have Steph Curry. This Warriors team is not the Warriors team that everyone thinks of, even though they have the same name. I mean, Jordan Poole's not playing like he usually does. Klay Thompson has been a little bit out of it in the past 2 years since the injury as well. Andrew Wiggins has been the second best offensive option. Steph Curry just got a triple-double. I know he lost, but he got an insane triple-double. If it wasn't for him, they don't make the playoffs. They don't win a series. They might not even win a game in the playoffs. So I have him at 1.
All right, there we go.
Big Curry guy here, huh?
Curry 1, no Curry in top 5 over here at Showgo. So
no LeBron over here.
No LeBron there, though.
Little mismatch here.
Little mismatch in there, but Curry's putting up the numbers, needs to get his team some W's. We'll see if he can get it done end of the second round. But, I like the list. I'm, a mix of both, I think. I start at 5 with Anthony Davis. Rebounding, putting up the points he needs to get his team to win, being that top option to go-to person for most of the games in the series. Not last game, which I had a bet on. I hated what happened to myself. But Anthony Davis has solidified himself in this playoffs for me as just a top player, and that as a looked go-to guy with the points he's putting up. I think at 4, I got to go Jokic. Jokic, I mean, it's crazy the numbers. Crazy. I mean, 53 points last game. I mean, he was doing it from everywhere. The guy is defying what it means to be a center. He's crazy with the ball in his hands. He's dishing it out like a point guard. Nikola Jokic, besides the defense, the way, like you said, shovels his feet, Chase. I mean, other than that, man, I don't get how he does it still. But he's a top player right now in the NBA playoffs for me. At 3, Steph Curry. Triple-double. I mean, he's getting rebounds over 6'8" guys in crunch time. That to me is a true heart, true dedication, true warrior in Steph Curry. I think it's just incredible what he's doing, putting up 50-point games. He's got to be in my top 3 from what he's done. At 2, I'm going to slide Jimmy Butler. I'm going to slide Jimmy Butler to 2 for me. I had him at 1 last time. And Jimmy Butler, the first series, incredible. We haven't seen something like this. I mean, putting his team on his back, taking down the number 1 seed. We said it's happened, I think, 4 times since the 90s, or for us, 8 to beat a 1, which still is just crazy to me. He was able to do so, and he hasn't slowed down necessarily either. I mean, he was out for game, I think, 2 against the Knicks, but other than that, he's putting up those 20-plus point performances. He's efficient. He does it all, even as passes the ball. He had 10 assists last game. Jimmy Butler, guys, keep watching. He's just amazing in these playoffs. And at 1, I don't know how I can put someone above Butler, Jokic, and Curry, but I'm going to do it because Devin Booker is going insane. I can't believe it. I mean, he's trapping 32-plus in every single game. I mean, I know it's offense. There's more to it. There's defense, too, and you see that in Devin Booker. He's not at the level of some guys in that regard, but that to me is what I look at a lot of times for these playoff performances. The NBA defense can be rough, and Devin Booker is going crazy, and I think he's going to be at my top spot due to what he's done in the second round.
Yeah, that's extremely valid. I mean, the most consistencies that we have on our list are, Butler being pretty high and
Mhm.
Booker. I mean, Booker for all of us was top 2, so Booker is playing unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never been that big of a Booker guy, to be honest, and I wouldn't say that I am, but I mean, what he's doing, you just can't ignore it.
Yeah, and that is what scares me about this Nuggets team to win this series. I get they have probably more depth. I get that they have an MVP player in Jokic, but like defensively, I mean, you're letting Devin Booker consistently. I know he's scoring it, he's doing it like crazy, but you're letting him go for 35 plus a game. Like that's a little worrisome. I mean, you got to just watch out, and you could maybe not get this one done because you're letting these guys go crazy like that. But
Yeah, I don't know where you guys stand on this, but notice how we all had Jokic in our top 5 and no Embiid, the MVP. And that's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence at all. Jokic should have been MVP again. Embiid should not even have been close. And we know that. Everyone knows it. Shaq said he's the best center. Everyone knows. It just had to be done. It's for the stories. It's for the narrative. But it's just dumb. It's dumb to me.
I agree.
yeah,
I agree. I mean, Jokic just is on all end. I mean, this man James Harden is making Embiid look actually like nothing right now. I mean, this man Harden knows that he needs to take over. And he's been doing it, bro. I mean,
yeah.
It's what's been needed for the Sixers. It's what's been needed, and that's why they're finally competing in a series. I mean, I'm sorry, but Embiid being your number one option, I don't know if that's ever going to win you a championship. I think Harden has to keep staying aggressive.
Yeah, and speaking of that, James Harden, he's a guy that's been clutch in these playoffs. So we're gonna run a start bench cut on actually who you want taking the last shot in the NBA playoffs edition. So start bench cut of this, and it's kind of interesting. So this goes into not just maybe a guy that's gonna have the best shot, right? This is gonna be someone that you want the ball in the hands and say, go get us one, go get us to the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So. Start bench cut. Who you want taking the last shot? Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, or James Harden?
That's tough.
Tough.
I don't know. I mean, I can start us off with this one.
All right, go ahead. Start us off.
I'm gonna start Devin Booker. I feel like he is not afraid to take any shot. I feel like he always gets his shot off as well. I never have to worry about it being blocked. He can shoot the 3, he can drive, he can hit the mid-range. Now, honestly, I think he has a very high Q. I know that he doesn't really, I'll say, dish the ball that well, maybe compared to these other guys, but he still can if needed. But I trust him to get a good look. I don't need him to pass the ball, and that's why I'm going to be benching James Harden. I feel like he might rely a little bit too much on the pass, but he has been so clutch in this playoffs. But that's not usual for him. So I feel like that's kind of turned it around. But I'm cutting Jason Tatum. He's not meant for the moment. He likes to pass the ball when he should be shooting it. And I can't have that on my team when I need the bucket.
wow.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Shall I go? I'm gonna let you go.
I do agree with the Jason Tatum. I just don't think he's proven it to me yet. And with like what you said, he's gonna have to be cut for me. This start bench is very tough. I'm gonna flip flop the 2, and I'm gonna go James Harden. I'm gonna start James Harden. I think he's been in these moments. I think he's got that dog mentality in him. He's got a lot in the bag. Like this playoff, you've seen it, but I think at the Rockets and when he's playing with Chris Paul against the Warriors, like you kind of saw that in him. I mean,
oh yeah,
I think he has it in him. I think he's been in these shoes before, more than these younger guys. So I think I would go James Harden and I'd give him that over him. But don't get me wrong, Devin Booker, he could go get you a bucket too. I mean, I don't see a way you could really stop him unless he is just misses a shot. But I think every shot he takes is a pretty good shot, especially in the mid range. I mean, it's so tough.
Valid.
He is. He just the way he creates a shot for himself is really, really impressive in Devin Booker, and it's hard to not go away from him for a guy you want taking your shot. So for me, I'm going to throw out. I'm going to bench JT as well. Jason Tatum gets the bench. Or sorry,
you're cutting him.
Sorry. So I'm going to cut. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to cut Jason Tatum. I think it's just the playoffs this season kind of solidified it for me out of these three because, like we've seen, he just hasn't wanted to get that look, go and create that shot, be the person to do it. And it takes a little bit, but he's at that stage in his career where he needs to, and I haven't seen it yet. So I don't like him in this spot to be a bench or starter. I'm going to cut him. At the bench, I'm going to put D-Book as well. I think D-Book I want to start him. I think he has more tools in the way he can get a shot. I think he's able to he has such a pretty stroke. He can go make one from wherever, but there's that mentality. I just think he's just outside of the guy I'm going to start. I think Booker has shown it. He's close. Let's keep it up. I want to see him just keep going crazy this playoffs. But at the start, it's going to be a guy that did it in the Rockets, and he's doing it now again in Philly, which I love. He's found a spot. He's found his confidence, and that's a guy I want taking my shot. I know I'm looking at the playoffs specific of this season, but even without it, I think James Harden, with that confidence built in him, is just different. He's a dog with it, so I got him at the start.
Yeah, I mean, that step back three, I mean, that's his go-to. I mean, if you're down 3 – it's definitely helpful.
How do you stop that?
I don't think you can. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure he travels every time, but it works. He'll call it. So,
right. So it's a tough one, though. You're right. I think all three definitely have shown they can take this shot, but
Harden's a lot older. Tatum and Booker are like the same age, though. And
yeah, just about.
And you look at last season, what were we talking? I think we did some start bench cuts with Tatum Booker, and it was Tatum for a lot of them. Like,
yep.
If you don't remember, yep. So interesting to see where that competition will go. All right, we're gonna give our guest Showgo here a little game for this one, and we're doing this or that NBA playoff players. We did this last week. I did it to Chase, and the way it works is I'm going to give you a player to start, and then I'm going to say, or another player. Right. It's almost like a tournament style. So a one-game elimination, whoever you pick, whatever player you pick goes the next round. And then we're going to say another player, another one. Whoever's left is your, quote, champion of players out of the ones I list. So for this or that NBA playoff players, we kind of did a third option player. We did a guy that he's a key piece to the team, but he's not going to be the guy that's the go-to leading scorer. Right. All right, first off, we're starting with MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. or Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. I love MPJ. I like that mentality he's got on him. Just let that thing go every time. But Marcus Smart, I mean, there's not many guys like him in the league. I mean, that mentality, that leadership, that he's so composed. His IQ is great. Defensively, he's just phenomenal. I saw him guarding Embiid the other day, and I was like, that is insane. And that just shows how much he can play on that defensive end.
Okay. Yeah, definitely offensive player, defensive player. There's just that's just a fact. So, all right. Then we got Marcus Smart or D'Angelo Russell.
Marcus Smart again. I love D'Lo. He's a Lakers guy. But I think still having Marcus Smart, I think him having your team gives you such a big edge on your team. And I would hate to play against Marcus Smart, and I think every team knows that.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right. Then we got Marcus Smart still going or RJ Barrett.
Oh. RJ
Barrett.
See, can he finish with his right hand for once? I mean, my God. I'm still going Marcus Smart, I think. I'd rather have Marcus Smart. I think RJ is very good. I think I need to see more out of him. I think his IQ is kind of I mean, you can force him right, man. I mean, you force him right. You've seen he has troubles, but when he gets his left hand, he's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But I need to see more out of him.
All right. So Marcus Smart's going to get to the last round. Marcus Smart or Tyrese Maxey? This.
I mean, you're talking about. I mean, Tyrese Maxey. I mean, if these guys aren't playing good, like Harden or Embiid, I mean, this guy Maxey has shown numerous times he can take over the game. Once he gets hot, it's so over for the other team. But Marcus Smart, you still have Marcus Smart, right? I mean, his IQ, intelligence, especially in the fourth quarter. I mean, he knows how to lead, but I think I would go Maxey.
right.
Wow.
Even though I think Marcus Smart right now might have a bigger edge. You probably want him defensively, offensively. He's great in the fourth just because his leadership. But I think Maxey's got that. I think he's got that in him a little bit. I think you'll see him take off in the next few years. But Maxey, with his ability to create his own shot, hit the three ball. Obviously, defensively, he's a little bit iffy, but I think I would get to Maxey. I think I got to give it to Kentucky blood. So
I agree. I think Maxey is one of the best shot creators actually like in the NBA. Like I hardly see him get blocked. He can constantly shoot a three if he wants it. It's just on a team where he's the third option, he's not going to get it as much as, some other guys. He's good, man.
He's really good. I liked him as well. I think it was a good little finals push to have him sit at the end and see who could trump him. But fun stuff there for letting Tyrese Maxey get the W. I like it.
I like it as well.
All righty. Last thing we're going to do. Ford, do you want to explain this one up?
Sure.
All
So
right,
what
sweet.
we're going to do is top 10 players with the most to gain from a championship. This is just out of the teams remaining, though, so not anyone from the first round. So we are going to maybe just alternate, kind of explain maybe a little bit why we had them here, read them off. Some don't need too much explaining, but we made this combined, the three of us. So let's get into it.
Yep. The three combined is the big thing, so we wanted to make that a note.
Yep. So some of us, maybe we had someone in a different spot, but if it got overruled by two, it is what it is.
All righty. So, Showgo, do you want to start us off?
I think number one, it's LeBron James, and I was a bit advocate out of this group of putting LeBron at one, and I think this championship, if he were to win, I think he will go to the number one spot of becoming the greatest of all time. I think there is obviously other players that could potentially be about ahead of him, but I mean, we're talking about GOAT talk right now. I mean, one or two. I mean, it's neck and neck. I think everyone knows that if he were to win or if he does win, it will really solidify him. So
that's true. At two, we have Steph Curry. I was a big advocate for him at one. I got overruled, but I truly think that if he wins this championship, he would be for sure, undoubtedly the second greatest of all time. I think that he would pass up LeBron. I think that LeBron would also be probably removed from the Mount Rushmore of basketball. I think Steph Curry would step in there because to me, the Mount Rushmore isn't just the best players. It's, about what you've, maybe changed the game, what you've done, and then maybe like the GOAT on there. But for those reasons, I think, surpassing LeBron is a huge thing to put him at two.
Yeah, that was a debatable one right there. Those two were a tough slide, but a 2-1 got it done with that. At three, Himmy Buckets, as Showgo's mentioned and referenced him multiple times here on this episode. Jimmy Butler, I mean, you look at his career, you look at what he's gone through. He's bounced on some teams. He's been, looked at maybe as someone that can't get it done. And I think we're seeing, these past couple of years since mainly the bubble, I would say, but even previous years before that in Chicago and just in his career, he has shown that he is an absolute dog when the time is needed. And he needs to go get one done and get his team a win. And it would be massive for him to get one, I think, on his resume to solidify himself as an NBA champion, along with what he's done in the NBA playoffs. So him at three.
At the fourth spot, we got the Joker, two-time MVP, arguably three-time, right? Like what Chase was saying, five-time All-Star. But Jokic, I mean, he can really prove everyone wrong especially with his body type, right? Kind of not the fastest guy, not the most athletic guy. And he just does it all, man. He just does it all. And I think if he were to win this, it would prove everyone wrong. So,
yep.
Like
At five, Kevin Durant, two-time NBA champion with the Warriors, two-time NBA Finals MVP, and an MVP back in 2014. I just think that if he wins a championship, he would be undoubtedly in that top 10 of all time. I know a lot of people debate if he's, barely making it or barely out. I think this would fully solidify him as long as possibly putting him as the best scorer of all time. I think that that's highly debatable with Kobe Bryant. but I think that this championship would put him top 10, which makes it such a huge championship for Kevin Durant.
That is. He's a lot outside kind of those top 10 and all-time players, and this would, I think, for me as well, put him in that top 10 conversation. At 6 at 6 Joel Embiid. And Joel, as he just won his first MVP this season, he's been right in that mark of winning it. Jokic beats him these past years and could have beat him this year. But Joel Embiid defensively has shown, he's been all NBA. He's all NBA team multiple years. He has been in the league at 29 years old in this stage of his career, kind of like Jokic. He's a center that has shown he can stretch it a little bit and create a shot. And it'd be incredible for him to get one on his resume to say that he is staying and being a center that is changing his organization and team. Even though he needs to step up more in our eyes, Joel Embiid would be a massive, massive title if he can win it.
It would be, especially like this year when you won MVP. It would really mean even more.
I agree.
Yep. At that 7th spot, we got an older fella, CP3. He's one of the best passers of all time. He hasn't really gone on the championship as many times as people would think, right? He's only been there once. But with the teams he had in the past and with the team he has now, I think he has to really show people that he can win in these moments, in a playoff moment. And I think if he were to win, I think it would solidify him as a great Hall of Famer. So this would gain a lot for him.
Agreed. I think Chris Paul, I think he's debatably one of the best point guards of all time. If he gets a ring, I think it's definitely debatable, top 5, top 10. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very close. I just think he's missing that. At 8, we have James Harden, who to me is also like, what is he missing? It's only a ring. I mean, he's won MVP. He's won the scoring title. He's been known for changing the game with his step back, with his Euro steps. I mean, he's drawn so many fouls. He's led the league in that. He's truly kind of changed the game in his own way. And he's also very good at adapting his game to where his team is, which I think is pretty admirable. But I think all he's missing is a ring, just like CP3. So James Harden.
Yep. No, they both just have been that same situation. I mean, both haven't gotten to the finals really that much. And if they haven't had much success. And it'd be massive for them to get a ring and show that they're here and they can get that NBA championship. Mm-hmm. At 9, we put the youngest of the bunch in Jason Tatum, and he's going to be on our top 10 at 9. Jason Tatum, out of these young guys, has just been looked at now, going to the NBA Finals and being that guy on that team as a top option, along with obviously Jaylen Brown. But Jason Tatum is looked at and viewed for most people as the person. And I think with this stage at 25 years old, to get an NBA championship, you're putting him now on track and on pace to really be an all-time great in the NBA. So I think this would be massive for him to keep jumpstarting his career. And even that Booker-Tatum debate, another thing to look at. Those two young guys are leading the way, and maybe he'd be the leader in the young guys in the NBA for this championship.
Yeah, he needs it.
Yep.
At the 10th spot, I mean, this could have went to a lot of different people, but we gave the edge to Anthony Davis for a few reasons. I mean, this would show. I mean, he's the number 2 guy, arguably the number 1 guy right now. But obviously, him being injury prone and all that, it is hard for him to kind of give him the legacy he really wants. But give him another ring, though, is going to gain a lot more respect to him, especially if he stays healthy and puts Lakers on his back a little bit. But I mean, he's shown and he's proven he's one of the best defensive players in the league when he's healthy, and arguably you can't really stop him on the offensive end either. I mean, when he moves like that. So,
that's why we've got him. If he's, a lot of people say carried by LeBron in the Mickey Mouse ring, but this would be more of the carrying LeBron. So I think it would really, really help his legacy as well. And who knows how long, he'll be able to keep playing with how injury prone he is. I know he's not old, but who knows how long he can keep up. So he needs it.
Exactly.
I agree. All right, well, that's our list. Overall, solid 10. We think it's comparable. It could beat anyone's top 10 list. So we're locking it in here. So
locking it a lot of fun. It was fun, and I'm glad we could come together and make one. I know we were a little differentiated, especially on the 1-2 spot. But one last question for you guys, because I want to see how biased you guys truly are.
There we go.
just to end it.
Yep.
Who would you really rather have right now on your team? Steph Curry or LeBron James?
In the playoffs, or I mean, any situation, I'd rather
In
have
any
LeBron.
situation, I mean.
Any situation, I'd rather have LeBron. I think, especially if I want to start a franchise or whatever, build a team around him, I want LeBron. I mean, I think I get it. Curry's one of the great. I mean, he is the greatest shooter of all time, but LeBron just brings it on every single level of the game: rebounds, steals, blocks. I mean, he's blocking Curry. I mean, every game. I mean, shit. I mean,
Yeah.
But he does it all. He does it all, really. I mean, his IQ. I mean, it makes everyone around him better, right? So I think that's why I always give the edge to LeBron.
Brad.
Yeah, it's. I mean, he's showing it right now. Team basketball. What is it? What does it mean? What does it mean?
You'd be better, Brad. I thought you'd be better.
You thought I would be, but I just think at the end of the day,
Showgo.
I get it's one player, right? I get Steph Curry can shoot the ball at way more of an effective
We're
rate. I get
talking
he
about
can
one
change the
player.
game.
There's no team.
There still is, though, because what he does for the team is different. And I think that is where he has gotten these NBA, or he's putting in this team that he has in conversation to be the NBA champions. He's up 3-1 right now. I think he's truly the piece that gets these young guys to go and play their game at the highest level. I know you're saying individually, maybe a statistic of who you'd rather have. Yeah, I mean, Curry has a conversation, but I just think it's overall a mixture of not just shooting a ball, it's passing a ball, it's rebounding a ball, it's communication, it's putting a team in the right position as a player to go get a championship.
Are you trying to say that LeBron's doing those better than Curry right now?
And yeah, I think so.
I honestly
think
every category but shooting. I think leadership.
Curry's a better scorer. Curry is a better passer. He just doesn't have to. That's not his role. He just showed you. He just showed you.
With 15 assists, which he doesn't do often.
He can do it nightly.
He can do it, sure, but LeBron can put up 15 assists. He doesn't have to, I don't think either.
I mean, these
cross
has. I think
LeBron is hiding in the corner for a reason, and Steph has the ball the whole time for a reason, people.
I mean, LeBron can play the point. I mean,
why isn't he playing the point?
I think he might be in the next game. I think he kind of played that a little bit the last game. I think he showed glimpses of it, and I think
they started using him in the pick and roll more than they did before.
But the fact that he could play in the post, up top, everywhere. I mean, he could tag to the rack. I mean, jab, step here, money. I mean, he just does it all. I mean,
you guys are funny. You guys are funny, man. Listen, you guys know to take what they've said throughout the pod with a grain of salt, because that proves everything right there. Because Steph Curry is definitely better than LeBron right now. I mean, that's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy what we're doing right now. Crazy what we're talking about.
All right, man.
This is unbelievable.
Hey,
we can go on and on.
We can go on and on. I think he's showing what the NBA playoffs. His team's having success, and that's due to what he's done for his team. I mean, it's a team game.
He has
I know
a better team, Brad. He played the dude
to a degree. Yeah, he does,
Grizzlies.
but it's not crazy. We ain't talking way better.
I'm not saying it's crazy, but he has a better team. He has Anthony Davis, who is the best defensive player in the whole league. He has better role players. He has people who can bring the ball up for him. Steph Curry has nothing to help. He's got a Klay Thompson that hits a shot maybe every other game at this point.
Right. I mean, Klay Thompson, I mean, he's still, you have all these other threats, though. I mean, you have all these shooters, and I think
who's our other threat?
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole is normally.
He should be a bigger threat. I mean, Klay Thompson should be a bigger threat. I think you could use Draymond in other ways off these screens. I think you make those back doors a little bit more. I mean, I get it. Gary Payton's not a great role player. Kevin Looney, he could go get you boards, right?
He can get boards.
14 games.
Moses Moody and these younger guys, Kuminga, they'll develop, but maybe not right now. But
yeah, maybe not right now, but it is what it is. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. Appreciate you. Let us know who you guys would rather have right now, Steph Curry or LeBron. But that's going to do it for episode 47. Peace.